Hello everybody and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. For today's preview, it is Bulls versus Stormers, a Friday night kickoff, 7 o'clock South African Standard Time. Two very big names that have been named in each of these sides will be making their debuts for their respective sides. So it should be quite interesting. But before we look at the teams themselves and some of the key clashes, a couple of players being rotated in both sides, and it should be a very, very interesting clash. Also, what should be a very interesting clash is the Sharks versus the Lions game, which is on Saturday. We will definitely be live for that game as well. We should hopefully be live tomorrow night for the Bulls versus the Stormers game as well. Confirmation will be made of that tomorrow, so check to see if there's going to be a link up. Or else make sure you click on the notifications right now. Turn your notifications so that you get a message to say we are live. Smash the like on the video. Do subscribe to the channel if you are new, so you can get up to date with all this sort of content. But yeah, so the Bulls versus Stormers. It's at Loftus. The Bulls trying to bounce back from a shock loss against the Lions 2 weeks ago, and the Stormers, a possible opportunity to get to the final, but they will need to beat the Bulls to try and get there. So in terms of the teams of the moment, we'll start with the Bulls side, who are at home. So the big name there is MARCELL COETZEE. He is finally back, and he will start for the Bulls in his first game. The depth in this union is disgusting. When I say the word disgusting, I mean it shouldn't be allowed. There's no Arno Buerta and there's no Nizam Kar in this 23, and yet look at those loose trio. Before we actually get that loose trio, though, the front row is Morne Smith, Johan Grabelaar, who I've been actually very impressed with. I think he could, if we were doing an SA Invitational side, for example, I think he could actually be somebody who could feature. Makes a lot of tackles, his line-out works good. He's actually been very impressive. And then Gerard Steenkamp as well at tight head. The two locks continue as normal. Walt Steenkamp, Ruan Nokia. I had both of them on my SAA 23. If you want to go check that out, check the link over there. We did an SAA team yesterday. I'm going to be going through a Springboks box squad that should be out tomorrow morning, because it's just going to be so much content up today. We've got two previews, we've got press conferences, lots of cool stuff to look forward to. In terms of the loose trio, MARCELL COETZEE, Albert Lowe, Dwayne Vermeulen. It's an unbelievable loose trio. I mean, two Springboks there and a Springbok to be. I think Albert Lowe's got a very good chance of being named in the box squad on Saturday. And if not, we know he will be a Springbok eventually. So that loose trio is unbelievably good. Ivan van Zyl is back from injury. Also a huge boost for the Bulls. Who's playing some of the best rugby I've ever seen them play in the Super Rugby Unlocked and Currie Cup. And he will start tomorrow. No Imbos Papier in the 23. Morne Steyn starts at fly half. Trevino Jacobs comes back into the side. Madosh Tamwe continues. He's also somebody who's potentially on the peripherals of a Springbok call-up in the future. Just playing so well at the moment. He might have left it a little bit late to try and get that Bok call-up, but he's definitely the form player of the competition and definitely the form wing of the country. Cornel Hendricks, Marco Jansen from Furen is the centre combination. Pretty standard there. They've been playing there the entire tournament. Cornel Hendricks, we said everything we had to say about him. We know how good he is. Marco Jansen from Furen is a pretty solid outside centre, but probably a position that they'd like to try and strengthen. And then David Creel starts at full back. Off the bench, Skalk Erasmus, Jacques Van Nooren and Trevor Nyakane. No Liesel Gqoboka this weekend. Jankos Ranapool, Marco van Staden covers the rest of the bench. I mean, to have something like Van Staden coming off the bench is a huge plus. But now this is getting a bit of an opportunity to see what life will be like without Marco van Staden. Him and Ivan van Zyl are both set to leave the Bulls in the coming months, but depth in that position is not an issue at all. Zach Berger, Chris Smith, and Gio Aplon is back on the bench after his freak injury last year cut his Bulls return, or his Bulls move prematurely short. You haven't really seen much of here at Aplon, but he will be back this weekend. Hopefully gets through a couple of minutes without any injury. So it's a very, very strong Bulls side. Lots of box, lots of very interesting combinations, and lots of interesting battles when you look at the Stormers side. The big change there is Francois Herbert's on the bench, and that's quite interesting because Trevor Nyakane is also on the bench. Jacques Van Nooren also on the bench. And what the Bulls have done quite well is that they've let that sort of front row, quite a young front row, go out and sort of kind of weather the storm. And they saw them exacted brilliantly against the Sharks, where they then put on Liesel Gqoboka and Trevor Nyakane and just decimated that Sharks front row. So having Francois Herbert coming off the bench is quite an interesting move. It will, I think, probably help them stabilize the scrum. So you've got Stephen Kitshoff, Bongi Banambi, and Lietli Bashir starting. So that front row battle should be quite interesting already. I think the Stormers could have the upper hand there. Stephen Kitshoff is a very good scrummager, but they are missing JD Schikkeling in the locks. David Meyehazen comes in for him. Schikkeling picked up an injury last week in training, and so Meyehazen will start. Marvin Ori shifts to the number 5 jersey. Bida Engelbrecht, Peter Steph Toy, and Ivan Roos. We saw that loose trio combination against the Sharks 2 weeks ago. They will continue. Herschel Yankees, who I thought was fantastic against the Sharks, probably one of the best game I've seen him play in a long time. Hopefully coming into form at the right time. He will partner Tim Sweel, who comes into the side ahead of Adna van Reenen, who kind of struggled a little bit against the Sharks. He has his moments, but he's very much quite a young player of confidence. So when it's going well, he'll continue to do things well. But every now and again, he gets something wrong, and suddenly, he starts sort of coming a little bit under pressure. But he's very young, and he's had plenty of time to learn from that. Ricus Pretorius, Ruanel are the centre combination. Rosko Specman, that's the big name that comes into the Stormers. His debut on loan there for the next 2 weeks. I assume possibly 3 if they make it to the Rainbow Cup. Expected to be named in the 45-man squad on Saturday. I had him in my SAA team, and I think that, I think the fact that SA Rugby pretty much orchestrated a move for him to a union to try and get game time speaks to the fact that he will be involved with the Box. David Venison will start at fullback as per usual. On the bench, haven't quite named a 23-man squad, so we don't quite know what the final bench will look like, but it'll be of the following 10 players. Andre Hugo Fenter comes in. No Scarra Entebeni this weekend. Ali from Mark Frans Malherbe are the reserve props. Urs van Rijn, Marcel Tennyson will cover the rest of the scrum there. Godlin Masimla is back from injury. Dan Duplessis and Sergio Peterson are the backline cover. But we could see Lee Marv Mazabuko or Joanna Augustus come into the side as well. So, I mean, it's two sides littered with Springboks, littered with young up-and-coming players. I think that David Meerhuizen's a very good player. It'll be interesting to see how he goes against those two locks. The front row battle is always going to be an interesting one. I think the halfback combination of Hershey Yankees and Tim Sweet are going to be under quite a lot of pressure because Ivan van Zee and Morne Steyn, they just tick, don't they? But that centre pairing of Ricus Pretorius and Ruan Null, they're going to have their hands full trying to defend Cornel Hendricks, and Rosko Specman will want to try and prove something against his former side. So he'll definitely be out to impress as well. So in terms of predictions, I'm going to go Bulls by 5. Unfortunately, I won't be able to watch the game. I won't be live for it. Girlfriend is down for the long weekend. Well, not the long weekend, for the weekend. Long distance relationship issues. So unfortunately, I'll be out for this game. We are going to try and see if Lacania can come and be live there. So we might be live. We will definitely try and have a review up after the game at least. So make sure you smash the like. Let me know what you think is going to happen in the game down below. Give me your predictions. I said I'm going to go Bulls by 5. I think it will be a bit of a close game. It was quite a close game down in Cape Town. The Stormers had the bulk of the possession that time. It didn't really have any X factor to try and penetrate that Bulls defense. And that Bulls defense put in a bit of a masterclass of how to weather all the pressure, get into a half, score some points. So they'll be hoping it's a little bit more free scoring this weekend. But only time will tell. Smash that like, subscribe to the channel. My name is Steven. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll chat to you soon.